So in Deuteronomy, this is 18. This is what we talked about in church about fasting. It reads as such: they will have no land of their own among the Israelites. The Lord himself is their special possession, just as he promised them. These are the parts the priests may claim as their share from the cattle, sheep, and goats that the people bring as offerings: the shoulder, the cheeks, and the stomach. And so what that means is shoulder, that means all the burdens, everything you're carrying, all the fears, all the doubts, give that to the Lord, the shoulder. The cheek, where else do we hear cheek in the Bible? Turn the other cheek. So offense, all the offense that you have, all the hurt that you have, it's very real, the emotions are real, but that offense you give to the Lord so that he can change you to be able to forgive. And lastly, the stomach is fasting. Also as the flesh, because that's the most draining that you feel from the flesh when you don't eat and you rely on the Lord for your energy instead. It's not like if you don't fast, you're not going to be saved. It's just a really good tool to use, especially if you feel like you're struggling with something, struggling with using something as a crutch or falling back into your same sin. For me, I always depended on substances, whether it's stuff that's more messes with your mind or even something as simple as caffeine. There's a lot of people that can't go a day without caffeine. And so if there's certain things that you feel like you can't live without, or that you're depending on instead of depending on God and depending on the Lord, that's what fasting really does, is it cleanses you. Even scientifically, fasting cleanses your body of toxins, but the main purpose of fasting is not for the physical benefit, more for the spiritual, but it does also benefit the physical to a certain extent. But prolonged fasting is not good for the physical, but that's the beauty of it, is that you're putting the spiritual above the physical, because at the end of the day, this body is going to decay, it's going to rot into the ground, but we're going to have everlasting life up in heaven. And so prioritizing the spiritual over the physical. Like me, I always like lifting, running. I've always been an athlete, and when I fast, like, I don't feel good. My lifts are terrible, my energy sucks, I don't have enough endurance. And I know, even though it's a big part of my life, I know that the spiritual health and wealth is definitely better than the physical health and wealth. And so fasting is a great tool. Like I said, if you feel like you're relying on something, if you want to get rid of something, if you just want to be cleansed by the Holy Spirit, because that's what will happen. Instead of relying on those things, instead of falling, you rely on the Holy Spirit, you rely on the Lord, and he'll guide you.